So happy Tuesday, and actually happy International Left-Handers Day. That's August 13th. Yeah, left-handers? Awesome, yeah. Fun fact, I used to be a high school teacher, and every day I would put up the holiday of the day on the board, and I would say, we all have a reason to celebrate each day, so yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So today I'm talking to you guys about, well, gamification and how you can actually create really engaging experiences for your users in your React apps. Okay, so show of hands, who loves games? Okay, I figured most of us, right? Yeah, awesome. So whether you consider yourself a gamer or not, there really is this universal appeal to games, right, that capture our attention and keep us engaged. So, and the reality is that most of our digital experiences nowadays, or a lot of them, are gamified. So, I'm going to bring this concept close to home for a second. The React team, they do understand the power of games, and they use it to actually teach React principles on their react.dev site. And they do this through a very simple tic-tac-toe game. And it might seem kind of basic at first, but it's actually pretty brilliant. It makes these complex concepts a bit more engaging and hands-on, interactive, just a bit easier to understand. So when you're building this game, you're not just learning the theory, you're actually learning it in a fun and meaningful way. Now, this game-based approach to learning, it's more than just fun, it's effective, and we see these principles at work in countless digital experiences. So, for example, how many of you have been motivated to go to Starbucks for a couple days in a row because you get some bonus stars? I know I'm definitely guilty. Or, I'm sure many of us track our steps. I actually have my Fitbit connected to Evidation, which actually gives you different milestones to reach for different step counts and challenges you with other bonus points and things like that. So these are prime examples of how gamification can drive engagement. And, funny enough, they both actually leverage React to enhance user engagement through dynamic themes, real-time data updates, and seamless interactions. So, for example, both of these leverage context consumption techniques, as shown here. So, Starbucks handles locale settings and monetary values, formatting the monetary values through this context consumption, and this ensures consistent formatting across the application. And then Evidation, they utilize it to manage the real-time data, enabling personalized health insights, and dynamic content updates based on the user's interactions. All right, so Sebastian Detterding captures this approach pretty well. So effective gamification creates an ecosystem where users are constantly motivated to engage, improve, and achieve. It's about harnessing the power of game mechanics to drive real-world results. And so his insights, they really highlight how true engagement goes beyond just functionality. So it really is about designing applications that not only serve like a purpose, but they actually create this immersive experience for the user and keep them motivated and invested in their journey. Now, before I continue, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself and tell you a little bit about how I became passionate about gamification. Okay, so hi, I'm Courtney, and I'm a developer advocate at Esri, which is a geographic information systems company. And before joining Esri, I taught high school math and computer science. And as an educator, I saw firsthand how gamification principles really can motivate students. And, well, to be honest, it's not just children, it's adults too, right? We all love games. Now, the React team's tic-tac-toe approach to teaching React concepts is something that I actually did quite a bit in the classroom, especially in my computer science courses. I had students build Snake and Blackjack and those kind of fun things as their projects to help them really learn the different, say, object-oriented programming concepts or whatever it may be in a fun way. And for my master's project, I actually studied how technology can enhance learning through gamified digital experiences. And I focused my studies more there on using things like Kahoot and quizzes, which are review games that you can use in the classroom. So I use those quite a bit as well. And now, even though I'm at a company that really doesn't have much to do with gamification, it's all about maps and geographics, technology, that's been my focus. But I have come up with some fun, clever ways to kind of integrate React concepts, gamification, and a little bit of mapping. And you'll get to see a sample app here in a minute. So, recognizing all of this from my personal experiences and through my research, I developed this GAMES methodology, or acronym, to really help seamlessly integrate these gamification concepts into your React apps. So we're going to go through each of these principles, but before we do, I want to show you guys the little sample app that I built that throws in a little bit of mapping, and of course it is a React application. And through each of these principles, I'll be using this sample app. So let's check it out. All right. There we go. Okay. All right, so this is an app that I've called Mappy Stats, and it'll make sense in a minute why. Of course, I can't give the right password. All righty. The one thing I'm doing live. There we go, awesome. Okay, all right, so when you log in, you are immediately shown this map. And it says, okay, search for a location or track your current location. Now this, again, this is just a very simple sample app, so it's just showing the concepts of kind of some gamification ideas. So what a user can do is they can track their current location or search for a location. So let's say I go ahead and just start typing, and I'll search for a random zip code. All right, so what comes up here is the actual location of that zip code with a circle. It's got a 1-mile radius, showing that area of the searched area. And then on the side over here, we've got different demographic or local data information that actually comes from what's called the ArcGIS Geo-Enrichment Service. And the fun thing about this is you get to see all of these different stats for that 1-mile radius area. And then if you actually go to that area, if you click like the track your location, you can actually earn these badges. So it says visit to earn these badges down here. And let me show you an example of one. So for instance, the pet lover's paradise, that's awarded to areas where more than 50% of households own pets. So it's just kind of fun. It's a fun way to kind of explore locations while still getting a bit of knowledge in there. Now, one other feature about this little sample app is once you've earned these badges, and I actually haven't tracked my location yet, so we don't have any badges earned yet, I can go ahead and click track location, and we'll get some badges. There we go. So we've got some badges for the location that we're in. We can see the achievements, we can see visited locations, and we can even do something fun, which is style your map. And these actually, I only added a couple of these options to style the map, but these actually were unlocked when I visited my first location. So it's kind of a fun way to gamify getting a different style. So let me show you that real quick. So I clicked the Valentine's base map, and now it's really pink. So it's kind of fun, right? You know, just fun little ways to incorporate a bit of styling into exploration. All right, now real quick, if you are unfamiliar with any of this tech, this is using the ArcGIS Maps SDK for JavaScript. We have a whole set of documentation at developers.arcgis.com where you can find all sorts of tutorials. We've got tons of SDKs and APIs for that too, not just JavaScript. All right, let's go through our games principles. Okay. So we're starting with G, and G in games stands for Gamified UI Components. And this principle emphasizes incorporating these game-like elements into your apps, things that we just saw, like badges, achievements, leaderboards and that kind of stuff. And these really help drive that engagement and encouragement for users. So how I've done this in my sample app for the badges here, it's really just using a badge component, nothing too special to it. Users do get to obviously explore the new locations like I was explaining and discover new badges, earn these badges, track their badges, and it just really keeps them motivated to keep moving around and exploring. Okay, and progress bars, another just kind of simple component here. Progress bars further support this by really visually supporting or visually representing a user's journey. And it's kind of fun because I've made it to where the progress bar actually kind of does a little bit of animation there on the next go around there. All right, there it is. Okay, now achievements. Achievements are a key element in gamifying the user experience, right? So it's not just about badges. It's like you could earn a badge, and then, after you go to so many places or earn so many badges, you can get then, say, this achievement. It's like milestones, right? So it really encourages the user to, okay, well, you may all have all the badges, but now you need to go visit so many more locations or whatever it may be. All right. And finally, the last one that I was just showing you guys is styling. Incorporating map styles as gamified elements, it really adds that creative layer to the user experience. I actually came up with this concept last night. This is the last thing I added in. I came up with it because I was thinking, well, you can style avatars, in your games, so why not be able to do something like this? All right, so now we've covered basic gamified UI components. So let's go ahead and get into A, which stands for Advanced State Control. And as we all know, efficient state management is vital, especially in dynamic applications like gamified apps. So in my application, I leverage React's context API combined with the user reducer hook for global state management. Now, this approach does allow me to manage complex state transitions seamlessly, ensuring that all changes are handled in a consistent manner, really. So whether it's like updating the list of visited locations, or it's maybe checking to see if a new badge has been earned, the app stays scalable. All right, one fun thing that I didn't actually show when I was sampling my app there a minute ago is there actually is a quest experience that I incorporated into the app. And this is only available when a user tracks their location, and then they click that, quest button, start quest button at the bottom. So there aren't quests everywhere, so it's kind of encouraging people to, if you search for a location and you see that there's a quest there, maybe you should go visit it, so that way you can actually discover places on that quest. And so in my app, the quest started state plays a critical role in controlling the user experience. So as you can see in this GIF, really when the quest is active, key UI elements have been hidden from the user, so like the navigation bar up there. And of course, they're not trapped. They can click, end quest, and they can actually end the experience, but it does give them a little warning there. All right, so M stands for memoization. And honestly, recently, as I discovered React Compiler, I'm kind of evolving it into modern optimization, but I'll get into that. So optimizing performance is obviously critical in gamified applications. By employing memoization, we do ensure that our gamified features remain efficient, responsive, and really contributing to the engaging user experience. So what I've done in my mapping app is, and this is another piece I didn't really mention when I was showing it, is there's a leaderboard here. And so I've used React Memo for the player component, and then use Memo in the player list component to obviously unnecessarily prevent re-renders when users' scores have not been updated. So what I've done is I actually just simulated players 2 and 7 to be updating. Okay. And then what I did is then I went ahead and said, okay, well, let me try out React Compiler, the new shiny thing. So this actually does offer, if you're not familiar with it, more powerful optimization capabilities. And it's kind of fun because it gives this cute little like memo star badge thing there. And we didn't have to do any manual memoization. It just handles it for us. Cool. OK. So now we're on to E, which is efficient rendering. So this is all about ensuring that our applications obviously remain performant and responsive. By only rendering what's necessary, we really can significantly reduce the workload on our applications, making them faster. So in my app, I leverage React Lazy and Suspense for code splitting. So by deferring the loading of large components like my map, or my map view component, I reduced the load time and ensured really a smoother user experience. So what I did is I actually throttled the network there to be fast, I think fast 4G or whatever it was, to show that experience there. It's actually much quicker than that, but yeah. And the use of Suspense provides, of course, that fallback UI loading. Okay. In my app, I've used useEffect and useRef to manage the lifecycle of the map component. So when the map mounts, it initializes the map centered on that person's location. And then I also ensure that the map view and resources are cleaned up once the component unmounts. All right. And to, let's see, further optimize, to further optimize the rendering, we've got these different UI components that are only going to show when you actually interact with them. So we've got your leaderboard, we've got the badges. And this really just helps the app's responsiveness a bit. It's not just showing everything at once. Okay, and we're on to S. So S stands for social interaction. And this, all the stuff in the middle, the A, M, E, that's really more of the React concepts there, but the G and the S are more of the gamified fun parts, I think. So S, integrating social features into your apps, it really can help boost user engagement, and it fosters that sense of community and a bit of competition. All right, so in my app, users can share their achievements through different social platforms, and I just made it to where they could share badges. Of course, you could enhance that to share any types of the other actual achievements, or maybe visited locations, or that kind of thing. All right. And the last thing I'll point out in my app is the leaderboards once again, and these, of course, are great for fostering competition, so users can track where they're located among their friends. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at another real-world example, which is Duolingo. And this app, they did build it with React, and it really is an excellent example of gamification and education. So Duolingo uses visual elements like these street counters and these XP bars to keep learners really engaged and motivated to keep practicing. And that's really how they use that G element. Now, the app's adaptive learning system does actually adjust the question's difficulty based on how well the user is performing throughout their lessons. So that's really how they implement the kind of advanced state management there. Now, the app uses some memoization here. I just picked out one example. It's all over the place in their app, but I picked out the start button there. So the memoization optimizes the start button, which, of course, prevents unnecessary re-renders and keeps your app responsive. Okay, efficient rendering. Now, Duolingo does utilize React Suspense, as we can see here. And I just picked one element once again. This is for the character animations. So, that character there won't hold anything else back. It keeps the app nice and fluid for the user interactions. And finally, for social interactions, the platform does incorporate leaderboards, just like I showed in my other app there, to foster that friendly competition. And then they also have this option. That's actually a screenshot. I don't know if you've ever used Duolingo before, but I kind of molded the followers and friends on top beside of the leaderboard. But you can follow your friends, you can see their progress, and again, creates that sense of community among your users. And it makes learning a language fun. I just started it the other day. All right. Okay, so games, it's an acronym that I came up with that I think really can help make your different React applications more like engaging and just elevate the user gamified experience. So by leveraging gamified UI components, advanced state management, memoization, efficient rendering, and social interactions, you really can transform your apps into high-performing and, once again, engaging experiences and foster some competition. And keep your users coming back. Alrighty, so that is what I have for you today. I would love to chat with any of you about whether it's my sample app, anything gamified related or mapping related, or just anything else. We've got the QR code here, which actually has the code for my sample app that I built, and the slides. And thank you so much. Happy coding.